Welcome back to the Bettors on Thursday morning edition. We have two huge slates to break down, so we are getting right into it. If you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone. Otherwise, just give me a follow on Twitter at the Barrelzone. All plays are tracked on the BetStamp app at the Barrelzone, same user. Let's get right into it. We are using Bet365 for the odds. They have all the books, all the odds right now, as most of the NBA games are off the board at this time of the day. So, first game on the board: LA Clippers 8.5 point favorites at Charlotte. My fully healthy line would be 7 here, and the Hornets are without Hayward and Bridges. I'm not sure this 1.5 point correction is enough. I won't be laying this spread though. I think the Clippers haven't been playing that well offensively lately, and at this point in the season, a few days before the playoffs, for the top teams, the goal is really just to limit the load as much as you can on the stars. The Clippers will likely still get the W. The Hornets would really need it. They are stuck in the 8th seed. They hold the tiebreaker over the Pacers, but they still need to get a few Ws. So yeah, I think there is some line value on the Clippers if you just go by the numbers, but it's not a game I'm really interested in. Milwaukee Bucks at the Indiana Pacers, 8.5 point spread. My fully healthy line here would be Bucks minus 3.5. But we have Turner, Brogdon, and Lamb out, and Holiday is questionable. I was guessing this morning when I saw the injury report that should be a 4.5 to 5 point correction, and I'm adding to that to my 3.5 spread, and yeah, we are right around 8.5. Milwaukee, third game in 4 nights back to back. That's already factored in by me. Everyone has played 32 minutes or less. I think the spread is right. The Bucks will. They are still in a battle for the second seed with the Nets. So yeah, I think we will see full effort here, and they should really get the W. And Pacers aren't looking too hot right now. Atlanta Hawks 12.5 point spread hosting the Orlando Magic. The Magic do have, I think, the longest injury list I've ever seen. Ross, Keke, Porter, Isaac, Fultz, Ennis, Maki Carter, Williams, Bamba. Bamba is only questionable. The others are out. Hawks are playing third game in 4 nights and the back-to-back, and they're laying 12.5 points on a back-to-back. That's just crazy to me. Hunter is back for Atlanta. He rested 1 game after coming back. Hopefully, we will see him getting some minutes in the end of the regular season so that he is fully healthy for the playoffs. I think Hawks are also kind of peaking in the right spot. Not peaking in a way like the Heat that they are playing great, but they are playing okay, and everyone is finally healthy, and that wasn't the case through the entire season. But obviously, you cannot lay 12.5 points on the tail end of a back-to-back against any NBA team, not even the Orlando Magic. Philadelphia 76ers at the Miami Heat. 1.5 point road favorite is Philly. Embiid is questionable, but so is Jimmy Butler. I think this is not a game you can bet this far from the game start. We will see if either of them plays. Embiid has an illness. He missed the last game because of it. I'm expecting that maybe he will play here. But their last 2 games is coming against the tanking Orlando team, and they only need 1 win out of the last 3 games. So this game and 2 games against Orlando, and they only need 1 W to lock up the first seed. So we could see Embiid just taking another one off. The Heat are playing really well right now. They need every W. They are currently on the top leg of the playoffs, so they are not on the same leg as Milwaukee and Brooklyn, and I think that's their goal to meet Philly in the second round rather than to meet Brooklyn or Milwaukee. They do hold the tiebreaker against the Knicks. The Heat, they have the same record, I think, as of right now, but they hold the tiebreaker. They need to finish before the Knicks so that they face a relatively beatable first round opponent in the Hawks, and then they meet Philly in the second round. And if they can get by Philly, they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So yeah, Philly has a huge rebounding edge and the decent defense in the paint. I would lean towards Philly. If Embiid is playing, my line would be like Philly -3. So I think there is an edge on the Sixers, but I think this line is also kind of factoring in that Embiid is not as likely to play as Jimmy Butler. Butler just had it was a bad eye poke he suffered, and I think he should be good to go. While I'm expecting Embiid kind of to sit this one off, just give the W to Miami and win one of the two Orlando games, and they are all right. They don't need to push him. San Antonio Spurs, New York Knicks. Knicks 4.5-point favorites. Spurs playing third game in 4 nights and the back-to-back. Knicks, tons of questionables. Rose, most importantly, he has been red hot. Quickly, Bullock, Burks, all questionables. Spurs played everyone 32 minutes or less last night. My line would be around 4. With some of these questionables missing the game. Obviously, if it shows, if it's less than 4. But I'm in the same neighborhood, and I really like what the Knicks are doing, and I think they will tough it out. But their style of game and the way the Spurs are playing, I think will lead to a low-scoring game. This is the lowest total on the board also, so I'm not really into laying 5 points in a low-scoring game when two tough teams play. Denver Nuggets 5.5-point road favorites at Minnesota. This would be like 9-ish if Minnesota was priced at the level they should, and if Denver was fully healthy. So we are getting a small discount. I make this 6. Basically, that's the spread, so we're not even getting a discount. Murray, Dozier, Barton out. Morris got upgraded to questionable for the Nuggets. That's good. Minnesota playing well when they shouldn't. They just lost their draft pick to Golden State by winning tons of games that they shouldn't even try to win. But I guess they know better than me. So yeah, they play nice basketball. They have a plus 7.8 point differential in the last 2 weeks. They went 3-3. It's kind of pointless, but yeah, Minnesota started playing when everyone else was tired, and most of the guys for the Timberwolves were either on low minutes, like Karl Anthony Towns, were out with injuries. So everyone on the team is relatively fresh, while the rest of the league is just winding down, and it's a really weird situation. Like a guy arriving at the party super late. So yeah, they are playing hard. I wouldn't lay these points, but I think the Nuggets will still likely get the easy W here. Sacramento Kings at the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a game I'm interested in. Memphis is the side we are looking at. 7.5-point spread. My fully healthy line here is Memphis by 5. And the Kings are without Bagley, Barnes, Fox, and Halliburton. Those are their 4 of the 5 best players. So only Buddy Hield will be available. He's the lone starter that's left for the Kings. And the Kings went Bullocks in the last 2 weeks. They went 6-1 with a plus 13-point differential. That's the best in the league, and they have the best defense in the league, only allowing 102 points per 100 possessions. So that's why we are getting line value. The Kings have been playing hot lately, despite all these injuries, but they aren't good. They faced OKC 3 times in the last 2 weeks. They played the Indiana when they only had Sabonis available. They played the Lakers when LeBron just came back, first game back, and he was on minutes limits and super rusty, and AD was also looking terrible in that game. So everyone was lining up really well for the Kings, and obviously they are tanking. They won some losses, but against OKC, you cannot out-tank OKC ever. So yeah, my line here is like 9, or a bit even more than 9. I think like Barnes, who is really the engine of the front court and the team, and Fox and Halliburton, the 2 best guards, obviously the futures of the franchise, all out, and Bagley, who has been playing okay. I think he's also an important piece. So yeah, this should be at least a 4 to 5 point downgrade. And JV is questionable for Memphis, but everything I could find info, it really shows that he will play. So that's just like I don't even know why they put him on the injury list. So I'm expecting a fully healthy Memphis team here. And yeah, I make this 9 or even more. Then 7.5, I think is great value. All right, Toronto Raptors at the Chicago Bulls, 9.5 point spread. The Raptors would be a 1 point favorite if they were fully healthy, according to my numbers. But they have OG Anunoby, Baines, Boucher, Hood, Lowry, Siakam, and Fred VanVleet all out. So basically, all the NBA level players are out. And we get 10.5 point correction now that they are 9.5 point dogs. The Bulls are, I think, mathematically are still not out of it, but with the loss here, they would be, but they won't lose this game, obviously. But they are likely out of it by tomorrow or the day after, so they won't be in the play-in tournament. I think this is an untouchable game. The lineup that the Raptors are putting out is just really terrible, but the Bulls are not a team that's going to cover you 10 points. Final game, small value here in my opinion. Phoenix Suns 5.5 point home favorites. Portland Trailblazers third game in 4 nights and the back-to-back. Lillard played 37 minutes, Powell 39. Phoenix has been playing just okay recently. Defensive effort weren't really there. They are allowing 121 points per 100 possessions in the last 2 weeks, and they are holding on to a -5 point differential in the last 2 weeks. They still went 4-3, but a -5 point differential, kind of ugly. Only Cam Johnson is out. My number is 6.5-ish here. I think this is a good spot maybe to fade the Blazers. Depth is their biggest issue. The only issue, they only can roll when the starters play super high minutes. They did that last night, but I would be surprised if we see them playing like close to 40 today and a W here. If anything, this should be a game that gets punted by the Blazers. I don't see them winning this, and I think there is a pretty decent chance that the Suns cover this one. So yeah, only play so far for me is Memphis. We played it at 7. I think 7.5 is still a bet. That's probably the last line I would play at. And I show 1 point edge on the Suns, and personally, I lean towards them. I think this is a kind of good value spot. All right, we are switching over to MLB. Pretty big slate. Already have a few bets in. Looking at a few games, we will roll through everything. Toronto at Atlanta, Ross Stripling, Charlie Morton. Stripling really hasn't found his groove yet. Off a 3 inning outing against Houston, he was kind of hit around. Also walked 3. He has a 6.6 ERA. Sierra is a bit better, but he's not missing bats, walking tons of guys, 84% contact rate. Righties with a 5.20 WOBA and a 7.7 FIP against him. So not a guy you would want to trust. Morton got super unlucky so far, but the underlying metrics are really good. 50% ground ball rate, 15% infield fly ball rate, just 23% hard contact, strong numbers against both sides, over an 11% swinging strike rate. Braves here are the better offense. They do have the way better starter and the better bullpen. I make this -138. The opener was -136, so very small value on Atlanta. I would need a -130 to bet, but I think this is really slam dunk for the Braves here to get to Stripling and hurt him, and Morton should really throw a good game here. Philadelphia at Washington, Zach Eflin, Patrick Corbin. Corbin really playing with fire. Somehow he came away from the last start against the Yankees with only 3 earned runs, but he only had 2 Ks, 25% caught strikes plus sweeps. If you look at the underlying metrics, it's really, really ugly. He has an 11% walk rate, 38% hard hit rate, 79% contact rate. Righties have a 9 FIP and a 440 WOBA against him. And yeah, that's just bad. Averages less than 5 innings, bad bullpen behind him. But his luck is that this Philly offense is just super underwhelming so far this season. They have a 315 xWOB, 30% K rate against left-handed pitchers. Yeah, Real Muto also out. I'm not getting involved with Philly. Eflin is really good. He's coming off a nice outing, 8 Ks with just 2 earned runs in 6 innings against Atlanta. His walk rate is basically zero, 1.6%, 23% hard contact. Line drive rate super low, missing some bats. I think he's real good, but I would need the plus price on him to get involved. Like plus 110 would be a bet for me on Philly, but I doubt we get there. If you look at Corbin's stats, it's just so ugly. He's still somehow making it work in some spots, but I think he will blow up, and this could be a blow up spot, but I just cannot trust Philly's offense to produce. Casey at Detroit, Lynch at Turnbull. Turnbull started the season late. He really couldn't put it together so far. He's managing contact nice, 48% ground ball rate, not walking anyone, 22% hard contact, 19% infield pull-up rate, but he has an 82% overall contact rate and just an 8% swinging strike rate. That needs to go up. I haven't pulled up his stats from last year, but he was way better than this at missing bats. So yeah, I'm not backing Turnbull until he finds his groove, and the Detroit team is just one of the worst offenses in the league. KC on a 10-game losing streak, but they are way better team in this matchup. And Lynch only had 2 outings. He came from A ball to the MLB, huge step up. He got hit around in his second start hard. His first start was okay, but just 4 innings against Cleveland. Some guys I talk to say he's not bad, but I'm really not expecting anything. I will need more sample size to back or fade him. On the other end, Turnbull is a good pitcher, but yeah, I will need again a few more starts to see what's up with him this season. St. Louis at Milwaukee, Flaherty at Burns. This is a game where I have a bet. I bagged the Cardinals. Burns is coming off COVID. He got the virus. He was asymptomatic, but the Brewers said that they will still limit his workload. That's a red flag. And he pitched 3 weeks ago the last time, and his stats are amazing. He pitched. He was one of the better pitchers in the entire league up until that point when he got the virus. But 3-week layoff, limited workload, and Brewers are just bad as a team. They are 25th in Team xWOBA and 29th in WRC Plus against right-handed pitchers, with a 27% team K rate. Total at 6.5 is not too low, but I'm not betting unders at 6.5. Flaherty coming off his best outing against Colorado. He went 7 innings. He's really in groove. Missing bats, no hard contact. Everything is looking real good. I think he's a bit overlooked this season. We have too many guys on nice seasons that we are not really talking about Flaherty enough. Cardinals, way better offense so far. Healthier, Flaherty, great form. We bet the Cardinals at plus 120. You still get better than plus 110. That's a bet. They are the better team, and to me, 3 weeks of layoffs, coming off COVID, that's just not good. And yeah, Cardinals. I mean, probably at any plus money, I would bet them, but plus 10 or better, that would be my official cutoff here. Minnesota, the White Sox, Pineda at Lynn. This was supposed to be Carlos Rodon, but he got pushed back. I think this Saturday he had some soreness thing. Lynn is pitching on 5 days of rest. He has been awesome so far, but some regression is coming to him, and that's true for Pineda as well. So yeah, first of I wanted to bet the under here. But yeah, so I looked at the stats of Lynn, and he has a 260 betting average against him on balls in play, and an 84% left on base rate, and a 5.7% home run to fly ball ratio. That's unsustainable. Pineda 220 batting average on balls in play, 89% left on base rate. Not something that's sustainable either. So yeah, both guys are just not as good as they have been pitching so far. And I'm also really high on Minnesota's ceiling. We haven't seen the bats break out yet, but they will. So yeah, it's a close game. Lynn is the better pitcher out of these two, but Minnesota is the better offense. I agree with the line. I make this minus 122. So White Sox a bit overpriced in my opinion, but yeah, either of these guys could realistically blow up. So I'm not getting involved. San Francisco at Pittsburgh, Tony Disco, Antonio Desclafani, and Will Crow. Yeah, Will Crow, Pittsburgh, nothing special, just end of the rotation guy at a bad team. He has a 5.4 Sierra, 13% walk rate, average swing and miss metrics, 80% contact rate. He has a negative K minus walk ratio against lefties. Nah, he won't be enough here in my opinion. I like the Giants here. Tony Disco, 56% ground ball rate, low hard contact, line drive rates kept super low, walk rate low. Everything I like about him. He is also a bit of a regression candidate, but I think regression won't happen here. Pittsburgh, one of the worst offenses in the league, especially against righties. Um, my line here exactly minus 150, minus 151 is the line, so I'm super close, no value. But I found value in the next game, Oakland and Boston. This is a more complex handicap, if you will. I think both offenses are in a pretty bad spot here. So first of all, Boston, I told you days ago I will be fading them. They face the easiest schedule out of all teams by a country mile, and their offensive metrics are really, it's just a bubble. It's a good offensive team, but not that good. They face the weakest pitching in the entire league, and they also got kind of lucky. And they have nice stats against lefties. I think that's why this stall opened at 9.5 at some shops. That's an insane line. Sean Manaea, increased velocity, super nice underlying metrics. 3.4 Sierra, doesn't walk anyone, misses bats, no hard contact. Both sides are really locked down. And the Red Sox don't really have guys who are consistently good against lefties. They have a 111 WRC plus this season against lefties, but this is not a roster that's hitting lefties well. So I think they will regress against lefties, and they will regress in general. And Manaea is very good, and the Oakland bullpen is decent, and they are rested. On the other end, Oakland, they have a negative run differential, negative base runs differential. Just a 325 xWOBA, but 96 WRC plus against righties. I'm not high on Garrett Richards. I know some guys are, but he's like average. 11% swinging strike rate, 50% ground ball rate, very strong against righties, and that's the key here. 3.7 FIP, 19% line drive rates, line drive rate. This is a righty-heavy lineup, that's it's a pretty bad offense, and Boston has a good bullpen, and I think Richards can do enough to keep them under control. I agree with the line. In fact, I show very minimal value on Oakland, but the under is the look. I think this should be 8 or an 8.5. That's heavily juiced to the under. 9 is outrageous. 9.5 is probably the worst line that was ever out there. There's 5 times still shows a 9.5. If this is real and you can bet it, you should bet like 2 units on this for sure. New York Yankees, Taillon, Tampa Bay Rays, Rich Hill. Yeah, this was supposed to be a bet for me. I kind of was looking at the line, and then it just went away. This was 120 minus 128 Yankees a few minutes ago. Now it's almost minus 140 across the board. I think this is a huge mismatch. Both guys have been pitching well, but I really feel that Hill will get hit here and hit hard. Yankees 124 WRC plus against lefties, only a 20% K rate, 200 ISO. Hill has been pitching okay, but I always have the feeling that it will fall apart, and he's old and blister issues and all kinds of issues. I don't like him. 80% contact rate, below league average swing and miss stuff. He's just living and dying by limiting hard contact, and I think it's not a good matchup against the Yankees. His toughest test easily so far. Tyon, super unlucky. His ERA is almost 2 runs higher than his Sierra. All the underlying metrics are nice. The Rays are well below league average offense, just a 304 xFOB, but 25% K rate against righties, 140 ISO. Good park to pitch in, obviously positive park shift for Tyon. New York, so much better offense, way better starter, way better bullpen. This is the lock of the day, and I'm kind of pissed that I missed it. But if we get like a minus 130, I would be probably even running to the window. Now that I broke down the game, when I woke up, the line was available, but I kind of missed it, and so Yankees, I'm expecting an easy win. Texas at Houston. Christian Javier Foltynewicz. Folty is a guy I'm not a believer in. 8.5% swinging strike rate, 40% hard contact, 82% contact rate. Lefties with a 440 WOBA and an 8 FIP against him. He has an 87% left on base rate. That's not going to cut it. Javier for the Houston Astros. I don't like what I see. I think many people are buying in. He has good swing and miss stuff. 30% K rate fueled by a 12.5% swing strike rate. But a 10% walk rate, 52% fly ball rate. Line drives rate is very high against lefties, and he has been getting lucky. 8% home run to fly ball ratio, 230 batting average on balls in play, 81% left on base rate. Texas is not a scary team, and this is a super good matchup for him. So I think he will roll here. Texas is swinging, missing hard, 28% K rate as a team. And against a high strikeout arm, I think this is a dream matchup. But I think I will be fading Javier the next time out. But I agree with the line. I make it exactly minus 186, and that's the pinnacle line. Cincinnati on the road favored with Castillo against Colorado with Chichi Gonzalez. Colorado, Cincy is minus 141. That's exactly my line, minus 141. Castillo, I cannot back him as a road favorite anymore. Swinging strike rate way down, 9.8%. He got super unlucky so far. 360 batting average on balls in play, 54% left on base rate, 18% home run to fly ball ratio. But he has a high contact rate, 81%, not missing as many bats as he used to. Velocity down 1.5 mile per hour. Line drive rates above 23% against both sides of the plate. I think he's not healthy. Like everything is pointing to that direction to me. We will see, but I'm not backing him anymore, especially not laying minus 140 on the road. But Chichi Gonzalez, one of the worst pitchers in the league. 6.8% swinging strike rate, 5+ Sierra, 86% contact rate. How that's incredibly bad. So the Rockies are weak, a bad offense. Obviously, this is not an easy park to pitch at, but if Castillo can figure this out, this should be the game. So this is a game I'm watching tomorrow, and I'm expecting Castillo to roll. If he gets to like mid-season form finally, then we will start backing him. His stuff is amazing when he's on. He's just not on or not healthy right now. Miami at Arizona, Trevor Rogers, Mary Kelly. Rogers is a great arm. I'm not backing him here. Miami is a bad offense. They have an 86 WRC plus against righties, 27% K rate as a team, only a 128 ISO. And they are minus 120-ish on the road. I make Arizona super slight favorites here, but I'm not going to get involved. Trevor Rogers, I think, ace potential, 16.5% swinging strike rate. He's walking a few guys, but staying off the barrel, super low contact rate, 67%. But Arizona so far has been one of the best offenses against left-handed pitchers. And the sample size is getting to a point where you have to take it seriously. They have a 129 WRC plus, only a 21% K rate, and a 231 ISO with an 11% walk rate. And the issue is that Rogers has a 10% walk rate, and walks have been consistently an issue. And if he's not striking the guys out, so if they are not swinging, there could be trouble. Kelly on the Arizona side, bad pitcher, 7.7% swinging strike rate, 83% contact rate, 40% hard contact, velocity down. Versus the league average, I would say. But the Marlins are a bad offense. Kelly's at home. I think wide range of outcomes. I hope Rogers will roll here. But the split, I'm staying off because I think he's slightly overpriced, and the splits against lefties are interesting. And yeah, maybe Arizona gets to him. I don't know. Zach plays at Cleveland. Final game of the day at Seattle. Plays are coming off an 8 inning outing against Cincinnati. He had 7 Ks, 3.8 Sierra, 1 whip, only 4% walk rate, 12% swinging strike rate, 55% ground ball rate, 23% hard contact. Very strong stats against both sides. We should see Chris Flexen for Seattle. 4.5 Sierra, 8% swinging strike rate, no K rate, basically 16%. 84% contact rate. He has a 587 WOBA at home. Yeah, I think Cleveland should get the W here. We'll see what line we get on Pinnacle. I think this minus 130 to 40 is kind of realistic. All right, summing it up, broke down both slates in 30 minutes. I like that. Bets in. St. Louis Cardinals. I think Flaherty is great in a groove. Cardinals are the better offense. Burns hasn't pitched in 3 weeks. Plus 120 was outrageous, but anything above plus 110 on the Cardinals is a bet for me. Oakland Boston under. This opened up at 9.5. I think this should be 8.5 max, but 8.5 juice to the under. Any 9 is good for me for the under. That's on the board. You can find an under minus 110 on BetCris or Bookmaker. That's a bet for 100%. Tons of angles here. I broke down the game in detail. I can have like 10 reasons for both teams to not to produce here offensively. I really expect a low-scoring game. And then games I'm looking at, Atlanta maybe at minus 130 would be a play. 35, that won't be coming back. I think this is a game I shouldn't even track. Philly at plus 110. I'm not sure we get there. Corbin hasn't been really playing well, and I would be surprised if we see Nationals money here. And the only game that's close to my range is the Yankees at minus 130. I would probably bet them here. 5 dimes should have a minus 131. Tyon is amazing. He's a huge positive regression candidate. Hill, a lefty, matching up super bad against the Yankees. The Yankees' offensive numbers are getting better. They will break out soon. They are breaking out right now. I think Yankees with Tyon on the mound are the lock of the day, but I haven't played it yet. I would need a bit better number than what's on the board right now. But I'm kind of happy with the Cardinals and the Boston under wagers, but I'm not going to force it. But yeah, Yankees are a strong look in my opinion. All right, thanks for tuning in. I will be back at the same time. If you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebettors and join the Discord channel. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck with your wagers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.